Welcome to another episode of Wealth Beyond Numbers. I'm your host, Dennis Corral, and today I'm thrilled to have Phil Stevenson. Phil, thanks for being here. He is the owner and founder of PS Financial. And today we're going to have a very interesting topic about finance, and it is reverse mortgages. In the financial industry, as you know, there's a lot of different topics and different areas from investments, retirement, and mortgages and lending. And one of them that has a lot of misconceptions is reverse mortgages, Phil, as you know. So can you tell me about what is a reverse mortgage and how does it work?
Sure. So I always like to say the reverse mortgage is the most misunderstood mortgage that exists, mainly because a lot of the misconceptions out there were probably true at one point. The first reverse mortgage in the United States was done in 1962. It became part of FHA in the 1980s, and there have been many changes ever since. So this iteration that we have now is nothing like it was decades ago. So a lot of the misconceptions come from that. But how does it work? Well, it's a mortgage like any other. It's something you can use as part of a retirement plan. So someone that's 62 and over typically can use their home as a vehicle to help their retirement by borrowing from their home one way or another, but they don't have to make a monthly payment. So a lot of people think, oh, that means I'm selling the house. No. The difference is it's just like any other mortgage. The difference is instead of taking the money out of your pocket and sending that payment into the bank or lender every month, you're not going to have to make that payment. So the interest you're not paying adds to your loan amount. It's deferred interest. It's paid at some point at a future date, but not on a monthly basis. So it helps, what is retirement all about? Cash flow. Mm-hmm. And that helps with cash flow to help people in retirement. Yeah,
present value of money. The funds that you have today, it's worth more than what it'll be worth in the future because of inflation and other factors. So so speaking of that, and great thing, that's a great overview of what a reverse mortgage. Now, what would you say are misconceptions about reverse mortgages? Now, I understand what it is, but what are misconceptions that people still have when it comes to reverse mortgages that you have to say?
The biggest is that they're selling the house or they're giving up the house. And so because of that, another misconception is they think they're going to get all their value. If someone has a $500,000 value and they call me and I say, hey, you're only going to get $200,000. They say, well, why? If my value is $500, what happens to the rest? Do I lose it because the bank is taking the house after I die? It's like, no, none of that you just said is true. Like I said, it's a mortgage like any other with an interest rate, and it's got to be paid back and everything. So all we're doing is we're lending you money to defer the interest to a later date. So you're not going to get it all. Because if you get $200,000 out of $500 and that interest adds on $10,000, $15,000 a year, you need to have equity so that if you pass away, you leave it to your heirs, to whoever, there's still equity in the home. So I guess that's the other misconception. My heirs won't inherit the property. No, they do. I'll tell you my story in a bit, but when my grandparents passed away, we inherited the property, we sold it, and there were profits. That's how the reverse mortgage works, and that's why they don't give you a large percentage of your value.
That makes a lot of sense, Phil. Thank you for sharing that. At Corewell Management, as we help clients transition to retirement, a big concern for them is knowing that they have enough money for their golden years. That means for them to live and do the things that they want to do and not have to worry about money. So we have to look at different options, different investment vehicles, different tools that we have in our disposal to make sure that at the end of the day, we bring peace of mind to clients. So I would say that reverse mortgages can also help as people transition to retirement depending on their individual circumstance. But would you mind sharing a story of someone that's benefited that you know from doing all this in your years of experience that you could share, that someone that you found success, a success story from someone doing a reverse mortgage?
Sure. I have many, but I have closed over 1,000 reverse mortgages in my career, which most people that you meet in the mortgage business, maybe they've closed one hand, up to 5. I doubt it. So the first one I ever did was for my grandparents in 2008. So when I looked at it, my mom had already passed away, so I was their heir, my aunt, uncle, and I looked at it from the point of view of an heir, not of a salesperson trying to make a commission or anything like that, which a lot of people probably think I am when I come to their house or whatever. So when I understood how it truly works, not all the misconceptions, I was like, wow, this is actually a really good program. So with them, what we did is they had a house near FIU in Miami, and they had a studio condo in Surfside. And they owed money on the condo, and of course they had tax and insurance payments on both. So what we did is we pulled money out of their primary residence. We paid off the condo, so now they had no mortgage payment. They still had a line of credit available, a certain amount over that money they took out. We used that line of credit to pay their taxes and insurance every year, and that was for several years because they were still alive from 2008 to about 2013. And then after they passed, and we sold the house, and there was still equity in the home. So we found a way to make their lives more comfortable. And my grandfather was an optometrist. He had a note that he held on a building. He had income. He made a few thousand a month compared to others that don't make much. So he had income, but they weren't living to the standards they wanted to live. The first thing they did, I remember after we closed, is they took the whole family out to dinner. So $1,000 dinner. He couldn't do that before, but that's what they love to do, is just family and living more comfortably. So that was the purpose. That's my success story with my family. And after that, like I said, I closed over 1,000. I've come out in Forbes 3 times as a reverse mortgage expert. I'm a certified reverse mortgage professional. So very few that really have dug into this program the way that I have.
Thank you so much, Phil. That was fantastic. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about reverse mortgages, especially on a topic so misunderstood out there. So I really appreciate it. So that concludes our episode. And as we like to say at Coral Wealth Management, retirement and financial confidence starts here. Thank you for watching.